This is Patty Davis with Crooked Tree Creations, and I'm going to make a patriotic sunflower tonight. I wanted to show you first of all how I cut the mesh. First of all, I use a wood burning tool, okay? And it's kind of used, and here we go. Like, it is that, chisel tip is what they call it, okay? So, it's all good and hot. You can see this is definitely used. It's, a little on the burned side, and it is suggested, wear a mask when you cut. I'm not wearing one because I'm showing you what I'm doing, but I'm just going to kind of go in between the lines of the mesh, okay? And that first part, that first ½ inch or so is usually pretty frayed. So I like to make sure that I cut that first inch off, okay? Now, I normally would cut my mesh at 10 inches if I'm doing just like a regular sunflower. I am doing something a little different. I actually learned this off of Julie's Wreath Boutique. She is a fantastic teacher, and I watch her YouTube videos. I stalk her Facebook page. Yes, I'm a stalker. But anyhow, I am going to do 10.5 inches instead of 10 inches. Now Julie goes a full 11 inches instead of 10.5 like I'm doing here. I hate to waste. It's just one of those things. If I can save a ½ inch, I'm going to save a ½ inch, because throughout the entire roll, that might save, be a one whole extra piece. So I'm going to do it that way. So I just needed 2 more of these pieces, and then I will show you what I do here. Okay, I don't know if you can see really exactly how far I'm going, but like I said, this is 10.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. Put this over there with it. Now, instead, like, normally I guess you could do like a daisy wreath or a daisy petal. You would just kind of put it like this, and then you would gather it, okay? The thing is, up at the top, it'll separate a little bit, and when it separates, you can kind of see it'll have that, just that little bit of a jagged edge. It's not perfect. Even doing it this way, it's not exactly perfect, but I wanted to show you it can be, I guess a little bit better than doing it without what I'm going to show you, okay? I know I'm jumping ahead of myself. So, see, I have this rolling towards me. I would take the top left and bring it down so I have the finished edge on the very bottom, okay? And then I have a finished edge on the right hand side here underneath the part where I cut. And I'll kind of show you real quick what it looks like. See, I have the finished edge behind here, and this is sticking up like that ½ inch. You can kind of see that, okay? So I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to kind of hold this down on this side, and I'm going to start at this edge because this is where it kind of is like connected already. And that's like the most awkward part. And it's not going to be seen. So, but that is actually where I'm going to start. And I'm going to go down and cut, try to stay as straight as possible, but keep kind of, I'm going to fuse together this top part of this along with the finished edge. Okay, so they're going to fuse together. So now you can see, hi Christy, you can see this is fused together, and so when we make our petal, it will actually kind of stay like where the top is not going to be like too messed up. Okay, I think it's a great idea. So I'm going to do this second one just because, like I said, I did these and they're a little bit of a different color of red, so I'm not going to use those. I'm going to save those for the class that I'm going to have, and that's going to be here in the end of the month, so I'm kind of excited about that. So here we go. I'm going to cut this again, just kind of fusing this top layer with that finished edge that is on the bottom here. And that's the thing too with this, you kind of got to take your time. So it does take a little bit longer to do it this way, but I do think that the end result is really worth it. So, okay, so that's done. I am going to unplug this wood burner. So, last thing I want to do is burn myself. Okay? So, here is the form that I'm using. It's a 10-inch form. And what I did, I took this plastic canvas, okay? You can get it in 2 different sizes. You get it in the yarn section. I got this at Joann's. You can get it, I think at Michael's and Hobby Lobby too. You can get it in either a 7 mesh or a 5 mesh. This is a 5 mesh. The 5 mesh has bigger holes. And you kind of want the bigger holes because we're going to be using zip ties, and that's going to be going through these, and it'll just make it a lot easier. I will say the zip ties that I got are small enough, they probably will fit in a 7 mesh. So if all you can get is 7 mesh, as long as you get small zip ties, you should be fine. And I will show you the zip ties that I got. I got these off of Amazon. If I remember whenever I'm done here, I will drop the link. But these are 8-inch zip ties, but they are only like the 18-pound zip ties. So they're very thin. Because, I mean, we don't need to hold 18 pounds. We definitely don't need to hold 50. Okay, so use these little zip ties, okay? And I'm gonna get a drink of wine. How do you like my little USA cup? Oh, it's backwards. I forgot to flip it around. Oh well, it's too late now. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna be using. But I used 4-inch zip ties where I connected this to the center of my 10-inch form. Okay, again, I mean, I got a lot of these ideas off of Julie's Wreath Boutique. I am not going to, take any credit for this. This was mostly all her, okay? So, first thing I am going to do, I'm going to attach the blue to the form, okay? And where I'm going to start, I am going to do this on the outside. And what I like to do when I do my zip ties, I like to kind of give them a little start. So it already makes a little circle. And this is going to be right on the crossbar and on this second ring, okay? There's the first, second, third, and fourth ring. Will be on the second ring, and then I am also attaching it to this like crossbar here, okay? So that's where I put my zip tie. Now we're going to make our petal. So I have the finished side here, and this is the open side. I will have the fused side here to the left, okay? And what I like to do, kind of flip it over this way underneath, and I like to start from the top, and you'll see why, okay? Kind of scrunch it, fold this bottom in, and scrunch it in. And we got this little petal, okay? And see how you're not seeing anything come out from behind or anything like that. Now, if I were to try to get it to come, if I scrunch from the bottom up, it might push some of that bottom mesh out where it might stick out from behind. I actually, noticed that with my other wreath that I made, so I thought, let's try it differently this time. So and then just attach it just like that. Nice and simple, okay? So we got our first petal done. And what I'm going to do, I like to go clockwise, but since we have the finished edge on this side, I don't want to put the petal on and then have to like fumble around and put it behind it. So I'm just going to go counterclockwise, and that's just that way we're not fussing, because if you fuss around with these petals too much, they'll fray, and you don't want, you want to keep from fraying as much as possible. So go ahead and start that. Do a little tuck, scrunch, do another tuck, and there we go. Kind of turns out. And that's the thing too, you got to pay attention when you put your zip tie on here, and when you go to put your petal in the zip tie. I'll kind of show you. It's just one of those things, I like uniformity. So I'm going to start this, and I'm going to kind of show you as the best that I can. See how we have that going this way? I kind of put the petal in from my right side. You want to make sure you do it that same way for every other petal. That way, if you, because if you put it in just the opposite way, the petals will kind of go all which way. Which, hey, you know what? If you accidentally do it that way, you accidentally do it that way. Who cares? But it's just one of those things I like to pay attention to. Okay. So, I'm just going to keep making these. I'm going to do 5 of these petals in the blue going across. 1 on each crossbar, and then 3 in the middle. So that'll make 5 petals on this top row. I keep forgetting too, because I was going up from the bottom in the one that I made last week, and like I said, I noticed some of that mesh was coming up from behind. So, and I think this is the cure, to go from the bottom to the top, but I'm not used to it. So if you see me like start going from the top to, the bottom to the top instead of the top to the bottom, that's why. It's like I'm not used to doing it that way. So, and if you are watching the replay, I would appreciate you doing a little hashtag replay so that I know that you've been here. And oh goodness, I have to tell you a story. I was down here last night cutting the mesh, and I'm just, I just got done cutting the mesh. I decided I'm done for the night, but I had to use the restroom. And I'm in a garage that is attached to my basement. And I had the garage door open. I was enjoying the sun and everything. It was beautiful, beautiful evening. And I decided to use the restroom. I go into the restroom and, oh my goodness, there was a mouse in the toilet. I'm not, I'm not afraid of spiders. There's not too much that really scares me, but for some reason mice, I'm always afraid they're gonna like run up my leg or something like that. So I freaked out. I didn't scream, but I just like turned around, went upstairs, and I was like, told my husband, there's a mouse in your toilet, you're gonna have to do something about it. Which he came down and flushed it. So, which is something I could have done, but I just, all I kept thinking, I kept imagining it like trying to jump up at me or something, and I didn't want that. So yeah. Okay, so I am going to okay, I'm going to show you this first of all. See how that looks pretty nice, pretty uniform. I'm not seeing too much fraying or too much sticking out or anything like that, so it looks pretty good. Okay, so I am going to start with red, and then I'm going to do like red, white, and I'm not going to use these crossbars here. I'm just going to do 4 in each section of the red and the white. And I'm just going to alternate red and white. Well, hello there, Anne. How are you tonight? Good seeing you. Well, okay, seeing your words. I guess I can't see you physically. Oh, and I started, so that's the other thing I always do. I always start making the petal before I put my zip tie on. Okay, call it being blonde, call it just whatever, creature of habit. Let's see how this is looking so far. I'm actually very excited that I'm going to be teaching a class in person. I've only done an in-person class for my close friends, and that's it. One of my friends wants me to teach her how to make it, and so she has other friends that I have not met that I'm going to be teaching. And it's going to be small, though. There's only going to be 5 of us. Well, including me, there'll be 6. But I think I'm just going to have my wreath made and just kind of walk around and kind of, you know, instruct them as they are making them. So I think that'll work out best. And like I said, I'll have one made that we can go off of and kind of look at. So if this one sells, I'll just make one other one and not put it out for sale. But if this one doesn't sell, I'll just go ahead and use this one. But fingers crossed it sells. Can you hear me okay? Because I forgot. I usually like to put on a microphone, and I totally forgot to put the microphone on. Well, I'm glad you're doing good, Ann. And we still got to get together. I haven't forgotten. I think that was around Easter, I think, the last time I went live and realized that we're pretty darn close to each other. We live pretty darn close. So I think, well, yeah, just after Easter, my boss that I've worked for 22 years, he passed away. And he's an attorney. I've worked there, like I said, 22 years as a secretary. And so we are now trying to close up shop, getting rid of all of the files and, you know, trying to get the clients to come and pick them up, trying to get the accounting straight and, you know, get his estate going and things like that. So it's been kind of crazy, but believe it or not, the people that we rent off of, they have somebody else that wants our building. Well, hi, Ruben. But they want our office space. There's all kinds of other office space available, but they want ours. So we have to be out the end of June. Oh yeah, your 52nd class reunion. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. I actually saw those pictures, Ann. That looks like you had so much fun. I mean, getting together with some old friends is so, it's perfect, you know? There's nothing like it. So, glad you got to do that. And Ruben, how are you? I've been seeing all of your reels, Ruben. They are hysterical. All I keep thinking is, you and I have got to find a way to meet up, because you would be so much fun. But yeah, now that you've joined, Ruben, I gotta show you, this is the Patriotic Sunflower. This is what I've gotten done so far. That would be so much fun, I know. I'm just gonna have to come to Texas. Plain and simple. And I'd love to meet Paul. So, but yeah, it's this class that I'm going to be doing. Like I said, it's only going to be 5 of us, and it's just going to be at a house, on my friend's house. So it's going to be very casual. I'm sure we will have adult beverages, which I will say, when using a wood burning tool, use it before you drink. I have not had any accidents or anything like that yet, but let's prevent them. Okay? So I use the wood burning tool without any alcohol, and I've been fine. So it's just one of those things. Safety first. I am hoping that I will be able to edit this and put this on a YouTube, because I have not added anything to my YouTube channel for quite some time, and I got to get that going. Well, thank you, Ruben. These petals, I mean, you can see when I did this, I fused the one side together. If you go back and watch the replay, I showed how it's done, okay? So that way it kind of doesn't get, yeah, just the back side of this mesh doesn't come out. I don't know how else to explain it, but, and that's also why I'm going top to bottom, because this is the part that's still open. So I'm going top to bottom to try to keep that mesh from coming out the back side, and where you can see it, and it's just not as attractive. So, and that really turns out that way. And I didn't mean to do red yet. And I'm talking, I'm not concentrating. I gotta do white anyways, and I gotta put my zip tie on. So, here's the white. Yeah, these petals do turn out so much better doing it this way, but it just takes a lot of extra time doing it where you like fuse that one side together. So, and that's kind of where I think I may have kind of screwed myself, because whenever I do this live class, I'm going to have to cut all this mesh beforehand, and it takes probably close to an hour and a half per wreath. So it's, yeah, I think I undercut my price on that, but you know what, it's going to be fun. It's going to be one of my first live classes with anybody other than my close friends. So I think I can live with the price that I gave. But again, I mean, I'm not going to be making, you know, I probably won't even be making minimum wage. But it'll be fun. Whatever. Yeah, because if you think about like all the work that needs to be done beforehand, yeah. So, but I'm really looking forward to it. Have either of you done a live wreath making class? Either held it or gone to one? because I think, yeah, I've actually never gone to a live wreath making class. I've done the painting classes. I've done several painting classes and really have a lot of fun with those. Yeah, I've never been to San Antonio. I think I'm gonna have to go, Ruben. So that's, yeah, I think it's gonna be fun, and I think too, it'll get my name out locally, where if I can do another class, which I don't know if any of you saw the, I did a turkey last year. I think doing a class making that turkey would go off really big, because I think a lot of people like cute stuff like that, because yeah, that turkey was really, really cute. So I might end up doing one of those, either that or the pumpkin, because a lot of people seem to really like that pumpkin too. But that'll be fun. I've never taught a class, but Ruben, you would be great. Now you would make a fun class. I can tell you that. Purchased an ebook. Oh yes. Okay. Ah, okay. That might be a good thing for me. I might have to do that. Because, I mean, there is a lot of prep ahead of time. And that's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm going to have all these zip ties. I have 2 sets of wire cutters. So, are you going to have the heat tube? Oh, yeah, I'm going to already make the petals. I mean, all the way up to this point, because number one, it would probably take entirely too long for all of us to do this, okay? And my thought is, I don't want to buy 5 wood burning tools, so I may have to buy at least 1 other pair of wire cutters, just so that, yeah, people can share. And yeah, there's only going to be, 5 people that I'm going to be teaching. So even with 5 people, we could probably share 2. So we'll probably be okay. But if I were going to do a class, any bigger than that, that's like supplies like that you're going to need. So, oh, Tammy, well, thank you so much. That was so sweet of you. How are you doing? Tammy, are you still making wreaths? I know you were for a while there. And I didn't know if you were still making any. At least you dabbled in it. So, Ruben used to teach 5th grade. Oh my goodness. Yes. Why are you not still teaching? Kids would have to love you. Oh, Mary, long time no see to you. Oh, the dog bite kept you from doing it. Okay. Okay. But you need another surgery. Oh no, Tammy. That's not good. Ugh. So you're not back to work, are you, then? You might as well retire too. And Tammy used to work with my husband at the post office. And my husband is now retired. Well, hello, Patty. How are you? Now I know Patty makes wreaths. So let me finish this petal and I'm going to show you what I got done so far. I think this is really turning out nice. I'm trying to take my time. Okay, been off 2 years, not retired yet. Oh, Cheryl, don't worry about being late. I totally get it, but this is what I have done so far with this sunflower wreath. Right now, I'll show you what I did so far. I have 5 petals. I use the crossbar, 3 in the one section, and then this crossbar is where I have the 5 blue. And then I've just been putting 4 petals per section, alternating red and white. And I got 3 more to put in this section, and then I got to move in towards the center. So, and what I'm doing is what they call a daisy petal. Oh goodness, a hubby medical day. That's always, that can't be fun. But I am making what's like a daisy petal, but the one side of the petal is fused together. So it kind of helps kind of keep it more uniform, so it doesn't really, you know, fray too much. Oh goodness, Mary, I'm sure that's not the case. I think my problem, I take too long doing a lot of my stuff because I am very particular. Now I think we are just entirely too hard on ourselves, and I'm one of those people. Okay, and these are cut at 10 and a half, okay? The rolls are 10 inch. I cut it at 10 and a half. Well, I can't cut anymore because I got the wood burning tool off, but whenever I flipped them from one corner to the other, there's just that little bit of a ledge that kind of stuck out, and I used the wood burning tool and kind of, you can see I fused it. Oh, that's not a good one. I fused it right along here. You can see there's a finished edge and this edge fused right along with it. So there you go. And kind of, you know, it makes it definitely more uniform. So it really helps. And then the way I am doing it too, since this is the fused side, I'm going from this side, kind of flip this down, scrunch, flip this up, finish scrunching, and there you go. Now, I will say, this is sticking out a little bit, but kind of try to adjust it the best you can to get it back behind the petal, and then you put it in. And you know what? Not every petal is going to be perfect. You're just going to have to deal with it. I know I have a tough time dealing with it, but I know it's not going to be perfect. So I'm just trying to smile and let it go. this is the last petal on this first row. And then after this is where it kind of gets a little bit tricky. Okay. Put this on that. Okay. The tricky part is knowing where you're going to put your zip ties when you get into this part, because you want to make sure you're in far enough, because we're only going to have 2 layers, okay? And you want it to be in far enough that the center covers it, but you don't want it to be in too far. So what I kind of figure, okay, we're completely skipping the 3rd and the 4th row. I am going to go about 1 inch in. Okay, actually, I take that back. I'm going to do the blue first. So I'm going to go about 1 inch in. And then I'm going to, when I go in 1 hole, I'm going to skip 1 hole. And then come out the next, okay? And you kind of want to make sure you're right underneath. You know, the blue is going to be right underneath the blue. So, oh boy, you're going to tell me about your Easter wreath. I missed what you said there, and I can't reach that far to my camera. I had to put it back far enough so that you can see a little bit of what I'm doing and still kind of see my face. I mean, even though I'm like cutting off the top of my head. And that's the thing too, okay? Here with these, I'm going to put 4 of these down, okay? So I don't want to be too far away from each other. So I'm only going to skip 1 hole before I come to this next one. Just kind of looking at it from this point of view just to see, okay, does this look like it's going to be okay? And I think it is. So that's going to be the hard part whenever I do my live class, is kind of showing everybody where the best spot would be to put these zip ties in. But well, I guess what better way to learn? Oh, and you know what? I screwed that one up. Too busy talking. Okay, let's try this again. And also, there's a lot of people, well, I would say me including, before I started making these wreaths, I did not know too much about zip ties. And I'm going to show you. See how it has, like, the head sticks out on this side and it's flat on this side? Make sure you go in on the flat side, because if you go in on this side, it comes right back out. Okay? Just an FYI. That's something I did not know, because I mean, I never dealt with zip ties. So, okay, on the plastic grid, you could put a dot with a permanent marker. You know what? I actually thought about that. I thought of at least, if not, you know, dots. I thought maybe I can like draw a circle where at least the, you know, from 1 inch in, maybe that might kind of help a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure. Because, yeah, I use Sharpies for everything, so, they started to build a nest in a grapevine. Oh, okay, I have to read this. Oh, goodness. Okay. They pooped on my other wreath that I put up. Gotta love birds. I mean, I do love birds. But yeah, they can be a pain in the butt, can't they? My husband was kind of a little upset about, I put up a bird feeder. It's one of those clear bird feeders that have the suction cups, and you put it up against your window, because I wanted to see some cardinals, and I was hoping to see bluebirds, which I haven't seen any bluebirds, but I do have a couple cardinals, and but I got blue jays, I have a couple woodpeckers, and then there's, I think they're called some kind of titmouse or something. Do you mind if I share you? Oh, definitely. Go ahead and share me. I would appreciate it, Christy. That's very sweet of you. But yeah, there's like a black-headed finch. There's several different smaller birds that come, but the blue jays and the woodpecker, they kick all the little ones out. And so I just, you know, I try to scare away the blue jay and the woodpeckers, because I'd rather see the little ones. I think they're cute. But I guess blue jays and woodpeckers need to eat too. But here I have on my deck, because it's, you know, a window right off of my deck. Yeah, they left a lot of fun, beautiful white stuff all over my deck. And so this past weekend I was there cleaning that off. But I still say they're worth it. And then I have a hummingbird feeder. I love my hummingbirds. I have 4 of them that are coming around. Oh. And they're really, I love seeing them. No cardinals or blue jays in Vegas. Ugh. Wow. Man, those are all still big birds. I love feeding the birds, because they're just, I don't know, they're just very interesting to watch, and especially the hummingbirds, just the way they, you know, they're so territorial and, you know, stuff like that. So, and you guys are gonna laugh. I made a TikTok video. I pulled up to my parking spot at work, and there were 2 birds mating right in my parking spot. So I videoed it. Nope, you can't make that up. So, yeah. I kind of laugh about being addicted to bird porn. So, I'm almost out of these. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and open this next pack up. I'm glad I got it out, because, okay, just the sparrows and hummers are small. Your neighbors have the hummingbirds, but they don't like to visit your house. Okay, why? Oh. I can't, oh, I'm sorry, I'm like probably making you guys dizzy. Oh, you change the liquid daily even. Yeah, I change mine every 3 days. So, yeah, I mean, if you were changing it daily, I would think that would be enough. The hawks hunt everything. Yeah. I mean, hawks are beautiful. I mean, we have hawks around here. I don't see very many in my yard, but every once in a while you'll see one, and it usually flies down and gets whether it's like a little some kind of little rodent or something like that. And I always feel bad for the rodent, but yeah, hawks are like an amazing animal. I'll say maybe the hawks got all the hummers. I'm going to show you, okay, what I'm starting to do. I'm just going. Okay. I am now going to start on this next row. I started with the red first, so now I'm going to start with the white first and go around. Okay. I should only have like 10, because that's what I did on the last one. So I'm going to try to make it so I only have 10 going around here. That's what that works. It should be, yeah, it should be about 3 per section if I like try to stick with the sections. And again, I'm trying to stay like 1 inch from that last ring. The center is what the fun part is, because I am not going to use any hot glue. All I do is braid the mesh together and then kind of, I don't know, like bring it around and like in a spiral and just kind of zip tie it to itself. And it turned out great. So I did that before. I didn't do it with 3 colors. I did it with 2 colors before, where I just kind of, plopped one over top of the other and it turned out really cool. So I thought if I could do it with just 2, I could definitely do it with 3. So that turned out really cool. I'm kind of excited that turned out. That's definitely with the class that I want to do. Again, I didn't want to have to use hot glue. So I kind of already had that in mind, because my friend had asked me if I would do a class on one of these sunflowers. before I even made one. So that's kind of why I made one. And it turned out, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do a class on that. Actually, the same friend she's the reason I started sunflowers to begin with. So the just like the regular yellow sunflowers, she asked me, hey, how about all of us girls get together and you teach us how to make this sunflower? I'm like, I've never made one. So I thought, what the heck? I got on YouTube and I found that Julie's Wreath Boutique, which I love the way she explains everything. So I said, okay, I figured it out. I made one, and I'm like, okay, I can make one. If I can make one, I can show them how to make one. And we had a blast. And like I said, but we were all friends. So, and of course, yes, we did have beverages. But do you have a finished wreath in mind when you start, or do you? Well, put it this way. When I do these kind of wreaths, yes, I have a finished product in mind. I usually have an idea of what it should look like. And I just try to make sure that what I'm doing will get that result. When I do my grapevines, no. Usually when I do my grapevines, it's all pretty much by the whatever. I'll throw some stuff out before I decide to make something and be like, okay, these look like they go together. And then as I'm going, I might have to run and get some more stuff, bring it, and so that's a completely different thing going through my brain than with these. With these, I usually will, if I put, 2 or 3 colors together, I kind of know, okay, this is, what I think this is going to look like. And, and that's usually what happens. I know I've done some where I've been like, I think, I've been afraid that, oh, this might be too dark. I did a purple and lilac one, and I thought, oh no, this is going to be too dark. This dark purple too dark, it's not going to look right. And after I was done with it, it was beautiful. And in fact, I just did another one for one of our friends, one of my good friends, Shannon. She saw it on my website, even though it is already sold, and she says, could you make me another one of these? She said, I would love that, because she really loves purple. And I said, absolutely. So I made one for her, and again, yes, it turned out. So, but, as I was doing that one, I was just kind of like, and there are some that I've done that after I've finished them, I'm like, I wish I did a different color. I like the one I did, for fall, I did like a plaid. It's like browns and cream and with some orange. And I think it was, I wish I did a darker brown. I did like a chocolate, like a milk chocolate, and I wish I did like a dark chocolate, if that makes sense. Because I did have a dark brown and I did not use it. And I don't want to take it apart put it back together using the dark brown, because then you're fussing with it too much and you're making it fray. So, yeah, it's just not sure, you know, there's just some things that, yeah, you just kind of figure, am I doing it right or am I not? Yeah, you know what? It's starting to rain here too. I don't have any thunder yet. Thank goodness. So yeah, if I do lose you guys, we are getting rain around here. So fingers crossed we keep our electric. All years start out as a planned something, and then we see what really happens. Yeah, that's how my grapevines are. I'll have something in mind, like, okay, these colors look good together, and then, yeah, as I'm going, I'm kind of like, well, this would look better, or whatever. So, yeah, that's me with the grapevines. But like this, I actually watched a video, saw how she did it, and, so I'm kind of really going off of what she did. And, yeah, it kind of works out. Okay. So, I don't know if I was spacing these out too far apart or not. Like, I sold my other wreath, so I don't have anything to go off of where I put the placements. Oh, the winds are bad here. Oh, okay. Well, I have my garage door shut, so I'm not seeing what's going on outside. I don't have any windows in here. I'm not hearing any wind. So, still good. And I'm not even hearing any rain. If it starts raining really hard, I should be able to hear it. I just want to get to the center part for you guys, so you can see that. Okay, now I'm starting to hear it. Yeah, people, Ann and I actually only live maybe a half an hour from each other. So, isn't that cool? Get together. It is clear and bright and hot and sunny. Well, it's always hot and sunny in Vegas. I haven't been out to Vegas for a while. The last time I went to Vegas was for a pizza convention, because at that time, my husband and his brother owned a drive-through that we put a pizza shop in. And so we went to this pizza convention, and, to get, look at and, purchase and stuff like that, the ovens and all that fun stuff. So, but I had a good time, because of course, we did other stuff that wasn't quite pizza related. But, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, so I don't know if I should tell you. trying to make sure there's enough room for this last red one to fit. So I can go under here. I may have to adjust these just a little bit. You know what, I gotta tell you, Vegas is hot, San Antonio is hot. I used to love hot weather when I was younger. Now that I've hit menopause, not so much. However, I would take hot over cold any day. I still do not like being cold. So like on the days where we have our 20-degree weather, you know, high temperatures and stuff, I'm praying for 100-degree weather. So, okay guys, this is what I got done. Not bad, looks pretty cute, huh? And then I will show you, I got these stars from Joanne Fabrics. They're just regular wood, okay? They're not painted or anything like that. They have 3 different sizes in here. They got like these super small ones, medium ones, and then these large ones, which I painted these large ones. Just hand painted white, okay? And in the wreath that I made last week, I used the medium-sized ones. But I painted these large ones because I thought, just in case I decided I wanted to use large last week, which the large I think will still work. So that's why I'm not even worried about it. I'm going to use that. Okay, let me get my mesh for this center. I'm going to show you guys how I made the center. I'm like, it really turns out really cute. Okay, now this is what I did. I cut each of these 4 feet. Well, actually, some of them are longer than 4 feet. I went to the end of the roll, and then as I was cutting these, 10.5-inch pieces, when I thought I was getting close to the 4 feet part, I measured it, made sure I couldn't get any more cuts out of them, and then just use the rest. Some of them are about 4.5 feet, so, but that's about, this is where we're at with that, okay? I'm gonna set this further aside so I can show you guys what I'm doing here, okay? Now, what I did last time, it was a little, I think I was trying to be a little too picky, okay? But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna scrunch this up, okay? I'm gonna grab me 4-inch zip tie, and zip tie that together. I'm going to do the same thing with the white. And we're not going to care if it frays on the ends or anything like that because it's not going to get seen. Okay. And then number 3. what I did this last time, I rolled each and every single piece into, like, you know, just rolled them up. I don't think I'm going to do that here. I'm just going to use, you know, put all three of these together. Actually, you know what? Let me cut these zip ties off, because then I'm going to zip tie all three together. I have this lone 6-inch zip tie that I figure I'll just use that for this. Okay. Now, just braid it. Okay? Kind of try to make sure you don't have the ends up and showing. Okay? Kind of. Probably will take me a while to do this, and it probably would be best if you had a friend with you or something like that too. But, okay, you can see I'm starting to get this braid going. Again, I want to make sure that the ends aren't showing through the top. And you kind of want to keep it taut too. I wish these pieces weren't quite so long, but and I would have liked to have had this already done. That way I could just show you how I get them all around to each other. How I, you know, spin it around into like a, all on top of itself, basically. Kind of spiral it so that it makes it so, you know, makes a nice center, nice circle. Might have been a little bit easier when I was being picky, and I what I did, I rolled everything and just like used pipe cleaners to keep it rolled as I went down. So it did make it a lot easier when I braided it than this. However, I just figure I don't really have the time to be that picky in front of you guys. So, but see how I got this braid going? And I'm like, keeping pulling it, making sure it's good and tight. Okay, it's going a little bit faster now that now that the pieces aren't quite as long. And as you're going, just keep checking to make sure you're not making any mistakes. A great gnome braid, yes. Well, there you go. We're gonna have to do a red, white, and blue gnome braid. As I was gonna try to get one of my good friends to come over and help me. But she wasn't able to come over, so. And the one time that I thought I was gonna have her help me, I didn't have the mesh yet. Oops. Then you would need to make that gnome too. Yes, you would. You can't make a gnome braid without a gnome. But you have adorable stuff, so I'm sure if you made it, it would sell. Okay, so we're getting towards the end here. You can see this is at the end of that mesh roll, so you can see it's like really curling up. Boy, do I have patience. Well, I've had a half a glass of wine. I really can't say that's helped me, but maybe I could. Okay, so, okay, there we are. I think we're done. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna zip tie the bottom here. And I may not even have to use all of this. Okay, now, I'm going to get these 4-inch zip ties ready so I can show you how I do this. I'm probably going to need a couple more. Okay. I'm going to do this at the very beginning, kind of start wrapping it around and get it kind of underneath. But you know what? I'm going to cut these frays off the end here. Make a nice little mess on my table. Which I'll just kind of sweep that up later. Okay. So I'm going to get this to go. Kind of show you how it's going underneath. Okay, now this is the way it looks like up on the top. Well, hello there, Rhonda. So I'm going to get it to about this point. I'm going to take a little 4-inch zip tie, take it through the mesh on one side and then through the mesh on this other. And zip tie it together. Okay? So now that's stayed together. And I'm going to keep going around. And just every so often, I'll take this 4-inch zip tie again, just because you can go through those holes of that mesh and just kind of go through them and go through the other and zip tie it good and tight. Oh, you know what? That one didn't work. Well, of course it didn't work. I'm live. Because it was too much of a gap between this and this. So, okay. Need to close that gap. So I'm going to try this again, going through these holes. Okay, see that? And see how that looks in the front? Pretty cool, huh? And you don't have to, if you want to keep going, you don't have to cut each zip tie as you're going. But I'd say, if you're halfway, even a third of the way around, go ahead, get the zip tie in there. And try to make sure you don't have too many, like you can't see through it too much. If you're going to see through it a little bit, it's not going to really be the end of the world by any means. But I'm going to do this one here, like around just about here, okay? Kind of get those together. Okay, see that? Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this because this is going to be plenty big enough. I'm going to hold it up to this. Okay, it covers it, right? So, I'm going to take, cut this off at the end here. I'm going to go ahead and trim these back for now. Kind of get them out of my way. And then kind of get that underneath here. Okay. And however you can find the best way to get it to come together. And there we go. Now, for the fun part. I have these really long wires. What are these? 20 inches long. No, 18 inches long. They're a 20 gauge wire, okay? I'm going to kind of stick this somewhere here in the center. And then have it come back out on the other side. Well, still here on the bottom of this center here. Okay. I apologize, I didn't show that, like how I did that, but see how I got it kind of through that center right there. Just kind of make it nice and taut. I'm going to put this through the center here. Got it around on this side, kind of tighten it. And cut these off. So, there you go. Okay? How do you like that center? Not bad. And it's fairly easy. I mean, yeah, the braiding part is a little on the, I'm not going to say it's difficult by any means, but it just takes a little more time. So I am going to plug my glue gun in, and I'm going to glue the stars on. I should have done that to get the glue to heat up a little bit while I was doing the center, but not too bad. And I've had people say it doesn't need stars. I actually do like it though with stars. I mean, it makes it definitely much more patriotic if you have the stars on there. So yeah, we want to add a star to each petal. So there's going to be, yeah, I have 9 blue petals, so we want a star on each blue petal, so there will be 9 stars. Well, a gnome wreath, I've actually I got gnomes off of Terry Burton, and I've made grapevine wreaths using those gnomes. I have a patriotic one, and then I have a one that's, her bees. It says "Be Happy." So, those actually worked out really cool. There is one that I wanted to do that I have not made yet, but I want to make a gnome, a Santa gnome. Use a regular Santa hat, and then, I know you're going to think it's crazy, but use a mop head for the beard, right? And so I kind of want to do something like that to make a wreath doing that. I want to see how that works first before I actually, say, okay, this is what I'm doing and do it live. But that would be kind of cute. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So anyhow, yes, I'm going to go ahead and put these stars on. I don't know, yeah, this isn't hot yet. So I'm going to have a glass of wine still. So, yeah, I will do another patriotic gnome with the grapevine. Yeah, I have the talking part done. I do a lot of talking, don't I? My mouth is dry. But the patriotic gnome, I did do a live, I think year before last, making a patriotic gnome. And I know I've done the beehive gnome. So I definitely have done those before. But I could always do them again. Because, again, when I make my wreaths, I decide on doing something different every time. So they always turn out different. I can never make the same wreath twice. At least not, none of my grapevines turn out the same. So, yeah, I'm just going to put these stars on using the hot glue. Yeah, this is the easy part. I will send you some nice state wine coasters. Ooh. Okay. A gnome girl wreath. Well, okay. You talked me into it. I can do that. Okay, we got strings. That's one thing I don't like about hot glue is the strings. Okay, let's see. Let's pull this out a little bit more. I want to make sure these petals are a little, you know, of course, uniform the way they lay. This is really turning out cute. Okay. And we are done. Ah, yes. It turned out really cute. I love it.